Okay, there have been a lot of rumors on the internet, and I feel like someone needs to stand up and say something. Now, obviously, there aren't a lot of people who are capable of standing up and saying something about this topic, but I'm in a unique circumstance, a unique situation, in a perfect situation while I let love down the drain. No, because I'd love to tell you this the shocking truth about THX Tex. Ah, he's coming for me. Let me tell you something. There is a lot of talk about how THX has this really scary logo that gets really, really loud, and then you got a robot flying around. Listen, there's a lot more going on than that. There's a reason why the sound gets so loud. They're trying to give you tinnitus. Do you think that the people at THX don't know what they're doing? I can tell you that they do. Why? Because I work at THX. I'm an intern, thank you very much, and I'm actually rather proud of it. THX might not stand for what you think it stands for. You might think it sounds for total Halliburton xylophones, but no, it stands for, and I'm a little bit ashamed to say this, but it's about time I got over it. Totally hardcore excrement. We're actually a fetish company. We make fetish videos. We make videos for people who like Cleveland steamers. In other words, these are videos for people who get sexually aroused by having other people shit on their chests. Now, again, I'm not totally ashamed of that because, if you have an instinct and it doesn't harm anyone, then hey, but there could be bacteria from shitting on somebody, and if it gets inside their mouth, for example, or maybe inside, I don't know, their navel, I could get a little problematic. So listen, I know the guy who is the voice actor for Tex. You might have heard about Tex in some of the lost footage they talk about on the internet of lost THX logo bits in which Tex sounds like a Southern man. Well, yeah, I admit it. We didn't name him Tex because his name sounds like THX. No, no. Tex had nothing to do with the excrement itself. Tex was a Southern man who worked at a gas station here in Little Havana, Florida. Okay? He wore a sombrero and he made delicious tacos, enchiladas, empanadas, refried beans. They're totally to die for. More on that later. I would go to the gas station every single day, every single weekday. We didn't work on the weekends, mind you. Okay, we didn't want to pay that much money. They did. I wasn't paid at all. They didn't pay me anything. But that's not what the story is about, because this is a real life story that you need to know. So they would send me to the gas station to purchase the refried beans, the enchiladas, the tacos, so on and so forth. Guacamole sauce. Okay, guac was extra. We weren't thrilled about that. But I'd go in and I'd see Tex, who'd be working behind the cash register. "How you doing today, partner?" Tex would say. And one day I explained to him that I was out of money because I didn't get paid to work. "Ain't that illegal?" Tex said. Then I explained to him because we live in Florida and our politicians don't approve of minimum wage, it was indeed totally okay legally, not ethically. "Well, shit. I suppose I can give you some food," Tex said in his obnoxious, loud voice. "But you gotta give me something." What could it possibly be? I said, broke. I wasn't wearing a shirt because I couldn't afford shirts. I went into Goodwill and they told me I had bad will and also bad body odor, and they kicked me the fuck out. I'm sorry, I can't pay rent. I live in a homeless shelter. I live in a dumpster. I live in a dumpster in Little Havana, Florida. I moved to Little Havana because I'm from Mexico and I felt comfortable in Little Havana, Cuba, sort of, Florida. Do you need to know more about me? No, I don't think so. Let me tell you more about what you want to know about THX Tex. "You do have something I could use," he said. What the fuck could this be about? I said, "My soul?" He went, "Oh, fuck no, soul," he said. "You think I sell soul food here?" "Aren't you fucking funny?" I responded. "No, I don't believe in no souls." "Oh, so you're an atheist," I responded. "No, I believe in Satan's, punk. The Lord Xenu bombed a bunch of volcanoes 6 billion years ago. Oh, fuck. Tex was a Scientologist. Tex drove me to Scientology meeting that night. It wasn't very pleasant. They hooked me up to a machine and they read my thetan levels. I still don't know what that means. They told me that my thetans were especially low and they locked me in a basement in an undescribable location because I had a blindfold on, so you can't really describe anything other than, seeing nothing. So I sat there. Eventually they unblinded me and there were no windows and I couldn't identify where I was. Then they took out a pencil, a Hello Kitty pencil. You need to stare into this pencil, Tex said, and I did just that. You need to not want the pencil. I don't want the fucking pencil, I responded. Ah, shit, you're doing it wrong, Tex responded. In Scientology, the way it works is you always want something, and then when you let go of your ego, you can be set free. Okay, I don't want the fucking pencil, I said. You passed, Tex said. He gave me the Hello Kitty pencil, which, to be honest, I actually did kind of want, and I pocketed it. He had to put the blindfold, back on. He took it off for a second because I had to be able to see the Hello Kitty pencil. You should have been able to figure that part out just by listening to this. But he put the blindfold back on. They drove me, in Ford Pinto back out to my dumpster. Don't tell anyone about this, he said. I jumped into my dumpster, and I did go to sleep. I was supposed to go to bed, but obviously I didn't have a bed. I was very disturbed, frightened, disheveled, and confused when I woke up. Lost in between the grime, dirt, dust, Taco Bell wrappers, Mountain Dew cans that are long been emptied. They've been in that dumpster since the 80s, by the way. I mean, if the trash people came around, they'd kind of throw me in the dumpster, but anyway, because I'd be sleeping. What, you figure that part out. I woke up to find a letter attached with silly putty to the side of my dumpster. It read, and as follows, you are no longer welcome at THX Studios. You were supposed to get us delicious Tex-Mex taco dishes, and you never came back. What the fuck was that about? LOL J/K, Tex told us all about it. We agreed to pay the price. He's going to star in our future videos. P.S. Have you ever considered buying Hispanic healthcare insurance? We have special healthcare insurance just for you, for people who are hard of hearing. Are you sick of shopping and the bladder control? Oh, shit. I just ripped the note up and tossed it in the trash, being where I lived, the dumpster at that point. I closed my eye and let out a sigh. 5 years later, there were a bunch of creepy logo commercials of THX Tex ripping people open with chainsaws and shit.